Want to start your entrepreneurial journey? Watch this video first.
Here we go.
Hi, my name is Karim. I'm an entrepreneur and a creator living in the Netherlands, trying to share the reality of what it's actually like to live here. If you like entrepreneurship, personal growth, creativity, development, style, maybe a bit of travel, this is the channel for you. I figured I'd jump on here today in honor of my wonderful shirt to talk about what it's like to actually be an entrepreneur and the things no one tells you that you can never really prepare for. So without further ado, let's move on to our first point. One of the first things that no one ever tells you about being an entrepreneur is that it's triggering as hell. Now, what do I mean by that? All of us walk through life using a framework of reference of sorts. So we have an idea of how the world works. This is how this works. This is how gender works. This is how structures work. This is how bureaucracy works. This is how other people function in relation to me. As an entrepreneur, all of that will be completely dismantled. For me, I had to re-examine my ideas of what it was like to deal with my own privilege as someone who comes from a well-to-do family in Egypt, what it's like to deal with an egalitarian approach in the Netherlands in terms of companies. People really view themselves as equal on the different barriers, even though, yes, there are still founders, there are still managers, but it operates from a very egalitarian perspective as opposed to a structured perspective of like, hey, I'm the boss, you're under me, I make the decisions. There's always a sort of competition going on, which was a lot for me to deal with. And I remember when I started my company, which is a couple of years ago now, a lot of it was quite a big challenge. But I'm here to tell you that once you get the hang of it, it really gets easier. You'll start figuring out things and triggers will get less and less. Another thing no one ever tells you about being an entrepreneur is that you're never really actually ready to go for it. Now, what do I mean by that? A lot of people think, hey, I need this specific level of education or this specific level of knowledge to start a business. Yes, I might agree, hey, having a business degree will probably help in running a business. Taking this particular course or this particular seminar, but there's nothing quite as good as just jumping in and going for it. Your experience will always be your best teacher. There's so much to learn from people out there. There's so much support, at least here in the Netherlands. And if you guys want to learn more about the types of supports available for entrepreneurs, I can definitely talk more about that. But at least my personal story with being that was actually uni related. So I was in my second year of uni, and for those of you that don't know much about Dutch universities, for every program you usually have to do an internship of sorts. So I was really struggling to find my internship while I was working on this project on the side with my colleagues. I made a couple of good friends at uni, which really inspired me to continue on a project of my own. But I wasn't sure if I was going to quite structure it into a business. But then as I struggled and had different conversations with my university professors and my internship coordinator, I realized, yes, I want to pursue this as a business. And I actually requested that I get to work on my own business as my internship, and luckily I was approved. And that gave me sort of a few months to focus on building up a business as part of my own projects and trying to do something by myself, if that makes any sense. Well, with a team, but at least something that was my own. Has this video been informative to you? Subscribe so that we can keep communicating and keep exploring together. The third thing no one ever tells you about being an entrepreneur is that it's a lot of learning. I know this might seem obvious, and obviously everyone who's gone on a journey will tell you that it has taught them a lot. But what I at least didn't realize is that being a business owner, at least here in the Netherlands, and obviously probably for most people everywhere else, is a lot about wearing different hats, right? You don't have this giant team that's helping you with, I don't know, here's this person running social media, here's this person doing your business strategy, here are these people doing your sales, here's this, here's that. All of these different resources that when you're in a huge company with a lot of money, you can pay people to do. So that forces you to play business strategist, marketing person, social media person, all of that at the same time until you can build up your team. So that involves a lot of learning new skills. For example, I took a sales course, which I never thought I would actually personally take. I ended up taking project management foundations on LinkedIn, which has actually helped my career immensely. There's so much to learn and so much to explore as a business owner. But like I said in the previous point, it's all about your own experience and what you feel like you need. You can either build it all up and then go through with it, or while you're going through it like I did, try to build more and more knowledge. Last but certainly not least, and I cannot emphasize this point enough, this journey is about you. As an entrepreneur, you need to ask yourself, what do I want to provide to this world? What do I find special? What do I find unique about my own journey? And as a young entrepreneur a couple of years ago, starting out, I really found myself waiting for other people to tell me what to do with my own business, which left me very susceptible to ideas that I didn't feel like I connected to or that were important to me. Very susceptible to potential scammers, for example, telling me I can fix everything for your business. Or people who have certain ideas that differ from my own and what I found quite important as an individual. And then I remember at the time, I had a conversation with a good friend of mine when I was going into different meetings and meeting different people. She informed me and sort of gave me this piece of advice that I will always carry, that it's my business and no one will know it better than I do. A business is like having your own child, sort of. It's your baby. You raised it, you built it from the ground, and it's on you to take care of it, but it's also on you to explore different paths with it if that feels like the right thing for you. Change can happen, growth can happen in different directions. So it's about being open, being honest, but also being true to the value you can provide as an individual and as an entrepreneur. Or figuring out the best team to cover up the parts that you maybe aren't so good at, because teams are really a good space to explore and grow as an individual. Some people might want to do this by themselves, some people go into groups. It's really different for everyone, and that's okay. That growth is important for everyone, and believe me, if you feel like you have a unique skill or a unique perspective, there is something for it out there. So just go out and chase it. That's all for today, folks. I figured I'd jump on here to give you some thoughts about my experience with entrepreneurship and the stuff people don't normally talk about. By now, you're probably curious what this baby of mine, what this business that I've been talking about is. For those of you that don't know, I am the co-founder of ASSISTNL. It is an organization that assists people that are moving here to the Netherlands on their journey. If that's something for you, if you happen to be moving here for a job or for your study, or even if you want to explore it further and just want to have a conversation about it, you can find the information about it below. I hope you have a lovely day, and if you really like what I do, or at least are remotely interested in it, please click that little subscribe button so that we can appease the YouTube gods, because the YouTube gods are what keep me here. So please press that button, and I hope you have a lovely, super duper day.